Hey everyone, it's Dylan from the Black Forest Wood Company. This week we're going to be showing you our build and installation process of this solid waterfall figured Bubinga door. We're here in the mountains and we have spent pretty well 2 full days. Yesterday was a 13-hour day installing this, so you're going to get to see us struggle.
What we're doing is we're splitting a piece of Bubinga about 19 inches wide. We're making a solid waterfall Bubinga door for a client out in Whistler, BC. And this is going to be the book match panels on the one side of the door. We've already done one. We'll try this second one now.
So some of you may or may not be aware, but Bubinga is a relatively endangered species of wood. It's on the CITES 2 list, which means that it cannot be legally or easily transported over international borders. In order to do that, you need proper permits to prove that the material was harvested before the wood was on the CITES 2 list. So we personally have had this Bubinga for about 15 to 20 years, well before it was ever endangered or on any kind of CITES list. So we have essentially been hoarding it and just saving this material until we had the right client come along who values this material, because it isn't the kind of material that we can ever get again. You know, these trees, I'm sure to some extent there might still be some illegal harvesting of this wood, but from the suppliers that we're purchasing from, they don't partake in any of that illegal harvesting. So we're sure that the material we have now was legally harvested, and unfortunately we'll never be able to get any more, but that makes it all the more special to this client. So what you've seen Brad do so far is cut the panels that he resawed to length, and now we're just pushing them through our big drum sander to get everything nice and flat and essentially get those bandsaw marks off the surface, because when we go to laminate this onto the core of our door, if we have saw marks, it's going to result in a pretty weak joint. So the next thing that you're seeing Brad work on here right now is actually gluing up the core for this door. And it's not entirely solid Bubinga, as you see. We've got some micro lam beams in the core of this door because they're very stable and they're very weather resistant. So we've done a few doors like this now. Some of you might remember the copper and wenge door that we did over a year ago. That featured the same construction style, and it just gives this really stable core that isn't going to allow the door to warp. You will notice though that we have solid Bubinga edging that goes all the way around this core, and it's substantial too. It's not like we're just putting a little 3mm skin on the outside. There's big full boards that go all the way around this micro lam beam, and then those pieces that you saw us cut earlier on the horizontal bandsaw at the beginning of the video will actually get pressed on to the outside of this core when it's all glued together.
This wood is so hard that when I went to go and bandsaw it, I was going to try and resaw 3 plies out of this board here. Our carbide tip bandsaw blade immediately started to drift. So I think I'm better off. I'm just going to try and split it in half. I need to end up with about a 12mm thick ply to laminate on each side of my core. But I can't afford to lose these because I've got 2 book match slabs here for the stiles. So I'll just try splitting them in half and go from there.
So unfortunately, a few years ago we sold our press as we didn't really get much use out of it, but now that we're doing more of this style of door here, we don't have a press. So that means that we had to send these doors off to one of our friends in town that does have a big press and get those 10mm skins of Bubinga pressed onto our micro lam core. So as you can see, the door slab on the CNC right now already has that core glued onto the outside. Unfortunately, it's not on film, but I'll kind of explain our process for that. So we use Titebond 3, same as we would do for any of our other joinery pieces on an exterior door, and we just made sure we fully coated both surfaces, and then it's this big giant press with 2 plates, and it just squishes those skins on that core, and it works very, very well. We've tried to do this before without a press, and you have to use like 40 clamps for one side of the door, and it's much easier to just use that press. What you're seeing the boys working on right now is prepping all of the pieces for the entire door slab glue up. So we've got our mullions, we've got our stiles, we have our rails, and then we have that main center panel that has the big feature book match on it. And all of these pieces are built with that micro lam beam construction to give us that stability that we're looking for. Again, we're using Titebond 3 and dowels for all of the joinery here. We do get a lot of comments about, why don't you use a mortise and tenon type of joinery, because that is the more traditional style of joinery. The reason that mortise and tenon joinery was required was because adhesives weren't at a point where they could reliably bond two pieces of wood together. But adhesives have come so far that now the glue joint created by modern day adhesives like Titebond 3 ends up being stronger than the wood itself. So you can achieve a much stronger glue joint than a mortise and tenon just by using our stile and rail joinery that you see cut into the profile and some solid hardwood dowels. We've been building doors with this technique for over 30 years, and failure of joinery is something that we never experience. Our biggest issue, if anything, on these doors is the finish, because that you're fighting against the elements, and finishing can be a challenge to keep things looking well, but joinery is never an issue for us.
Anybody know a good furniture repair shop? Maybe we should put this on Instagram. Ask if we know any good cabinet makers that can fix our shop stool. So it's a big moment. We're actually going to be sizing the door here. There's some move piece data information we put into the CNC machine to tell it exactly where to cut the door. It's oversized. We're going to figure out exactly what that dimension is going to be here now. So this moves the program 22 millimeters in X from the pins of the origin, and then in Y we're moving it 10 mil. We have a fixed door dimension, which is the actual size of the door in the program. The door is 20 mils wider than it needs to be and somewhat longer, approximately the same distance longer.
So expensive is the rarity of the material that we're using there. Bubinga is nearly impossible to get like this these days. So the only reason we can even do this is because we've had it for so long. This is our figured waterfall Bubinga door that we've been working on. You want to tell them a little bit more about the wood you said earlier? Well, it's actually, we bought about 12 slabs, 24 to 30 inches wide, 12 feet long, about 15 to 20 years ago. They've been sitting up in the rafters being hoarded by me until the right customer came along for the right project. And this client definitely fell in love with the material and commissioned us to build this absolutely amazing door. I've kind of developed this composite construction where we use like a microlam beam as a core in certain sections of the door. Some of it's solid, but it's like 10 mil on the surface, 10 mil thick material on a composite core. You can see some of the joinery that we've used. We use a glue joint cutter, solid end to piece. Then there is a laminated core inside of this section here. This is just solid with the veneer. The client wanted the grain direction running all the same way. It's a little bit unconventional for our standard door construction, but it should be lasting forever. So I mentioned earlier that finishing has been a bit of a struggle for us, and what we found to combat that is switching to oil-based finishes instead of spray varnish type finishes for our exterior doors. When we were doing sprayed coatings on the exterior doors, they would look good initially, but over time they would flake and peel, where an oil-based coating may dull out over time, but it's very easy to maintain and just put a new coat on and have that door looking brand new. Do you remember that guy from YouTube, Mitch, who comments all the time and says nice things?
Yes.
He's in the TikTok live right now. Say something to him.
Hey Mitch, it's good to see you back again. Thanks for following us.
You know Mitch, right?
I know Mitch.
Yeah. Now there is sort of a part one to this install that we're about to do here coming up. If you guys are subscribed, you would have seen us install the solid brown ebony bed set to the client in Whistler, and this is for that same client. So not only did he get that bedroom set, he got this door. There's also a mantle you're going to see us work on in a little bit here, and some ski hooks, all for one client. So again, we're very appreciative to this client for trusting us with such a large amount of work, and it was a lot of fun creating these.
Now, you know, underneath these caps here, there's screw holes.
Okay. So basically, we're going to do it like that, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Miss the wires.
Yes.
Make sure
Okay.
the wires are in the slot.
Okay.
screwing it down.
To give this door a little bit more of a rustic feel that's going to match the style of our client's home, they requested we add some metal clavos into the door. So they don't do anything structurally, they're just a decorative piece of metal essentially that goes on. So all we have to do is drill a hole to lay them out in the proper spot, which is quite critical because you only get one shot at this, and if something's off even a little bit, your eye will pick up on that. Then once they're drilled in, those clavos just pound right into place and they just sit there on the door and look rustic.
Okay.
We're fucked.
Hang it.
Did we order this?
Yeah.
We ordered this, I think.
Because initially we were going to put temporary in, and they were getting stained glass made. Now there's no longer stained glass, so we're putting in plain permanent glass. That's supposed to be this. But like, we don't have a handle. We don't have glass.
Nope.
It needs to be packed up in a day and a half. That's not jiving.
All right, so we've got a day and a half till we need to be ready with these doors packed up, ready for our install. The glass has arrived, and you can see it is not going to fit. At first, we thought it was Brad because he ordered these and he was very angry at himself, but we called the glass company, and it was the glass company's mistake. So they are now going to do a rush reorder of these, make us the correct size, and by tomorrow at the end of the day, we should have the new panels. So as you can see, fortunately, the new glass did arrive in time. Big thank you to our glass supplier for pulling that off. We were a little stressed, as you can see. And what we're doing right now is installing those glass panels into the door. So we have a two-sided self-adhesive neoprene tape that holds those glass panels into place. And for some reason, the last time we posted about that tape we use, it really shocked a lot of people, thinking that, well, you're just using double-sided tape to hold those panels in. People can just push them right through. I can assure you guys that is not the case. This is not your average double-sided tape that you'll find in art class. This is very heavy-duty industrial tape, and you could stand on those door panels without the moldings in and they wouldn't come out. No need to worry about security with them. So you guys are going to get to see us deliver the door in this video, but before we do that, we want to show you our process of building the mantle. However, if you are bored of watching us build stuff, you can just go down to the timestamps in the video and skip ahead to the delivery. But back to the mantle, we're beginning by using our skill saw to break down another one of these giant slabs of waterfall Bubinga. So I think we've only got like maybe 12 of these slabs in total. There's not very many of them, and it's always kind of a nerve-wracking procedure whenever we're cutting one of them up because, like I mentioned earlier, they're totally irreplaceable for us. But this mantle is 5 pieces of Bubinga that we're going to have to do for this, and each piece is going to feature dovetail joinery. We're actually trying to almost feature the joinery in the design of this mantle as opposed to hiding it. So those dovetails are going to be exposed on the front edge, and we're even going to bevel them to accentuate them even more, which some people like it, some people don't. So that would be something that we'd like to hear from you guys in the comments if you like this style of exposed joinery or you'd rather see it hidden. Here you can see the joinery sliding together. It's very, very satisfying. One thing that's nice specifically about working with Bubinga is it's incredibly stable. So once you've machined a piece, it generally doesn't move afterwards, so we don't have to struggle to put this joinery together because it's the exact same way it was after we cut it.
Look at that.
As an insurance policy, we're also going to be adding some screws to really fasten this joinery in place. We do put in some solid Bubinga plugs afterwards that are going to match the grain, so no one besides anyone with an extra keen eye will ever even know that these are here, but it allows us to secure this joinery without having to use any glue. And once we've got the piece sanded, it's time to begin applying our Black Forest furniture oil. So our Black Forest furniture oil is a hard wax oil. We use it on all of our tables, and you can use it on any other types of interior projects. Typically we do 2 coats, and it gives kind of this nice satin or semi-gloss sheen, and it gives relatively good protection against liquids and abrasions, but it isn't going to give you the same kind of protection, let's say, as a sprayed polyurethane. So that's why we're adding our Black Forest ceramic, which you're seeing Curtis do here right now, because that essentially gives an extra layer of liquid protection and scratch resistance. And now we are ready to get everything packed up and into the crate so we can get it delivered to our client's home here in Whistler. So Brad and Leszek are going to be driving this out in the truck, and we're getting a box made on the trailer, and then Haley, Jack, and I are flying out, and we're going to meet them there. we're just here on site right now getting ready to begin setting up our furniture package that we brought out. So we're gonna start with the bed and then we'll probably move on to the mantle, and the last thing we're thinking that we'll do is the door. But it is a very, beautiful winter morning compared to what we have in Calgary. At least it's pretty warm compared to Calgary, so we're liking it. And it's a gorgeous house, so we're really excited to show this off to you guys.
Like, we should take it apart before they're all coming down to help us. But there's also nowhere flat to do it.
Yeah. But we have to throw actually the styrofoam, stand it up, open.
We need 8 guys, for sure. We can't. I'm not doing it with less than 8 guys.
Yeah. No, and if it feels awkward, then we'll put it down and take it apart. But. So not only is Bubinga a very heavy wood, but we have to carry the door and the frame together at once, which is even more weight. So I think that this unit ended up weighing 600 or 700 pounds in total. Fortunately, our client had a lot of crew members on site that were able to lend us a hand and get this door lifted up, but it still wasn't very easy. It was a little less stressful than getting the bed lifted up. If you guys saw that from last week, there was no swearing this time, which was nice. But fortunately, we got it up, and then we can begin getting this door unwrapped and into the opening.
So are you guys that little wood shop that's in Calgary? It was a little like where you buy specialty wood?
Yeah,
that's it. Eh?
Keep her coming, it's on my way.
I got nothing.
Big wood.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, tip her up, watch overhead. We're going up? Yeah, watch overhead.
Watch your...
Watch. Okay, we're gonna pull it over that way, Dylan.
No, we have to do everything today.
Yeah, we have to have the door at least hanging. We might not have all the trim on it,
Yeah.
but we have to have our door hanging.
Okay.
Thank you. We need cheering.
How you
We're
feeling?
losing hope.
We're
We're behind schedule just because of the rabbiting, and then we have to re-solid edge our poplar inserts, the bucks that we made, and
You're gonna let me know when I can get in and wire it, right?
yes, you could probably get in there right now and wire it. It's open, but we haven't got our bucks in yet. Do you want our bucks in first or
I don't
after?
think me too. I'll make it one of my guys on it then.
Okay.
How's it going, Brad?
Oh, not great. Yeah, we gotta cedar edge these poplar inlays here, so. Okay, these are our bucks, are slotted with our adjustable slots in them. That we've cut a groove. We actually routed a groove into the end of the logs here earlier today. We put the bucks in, then we have them cut the right width, but realize part of this is still going to be exposed, and this is poplar. So we've ripped a 1/2 inch off each side of our bucks so that you now have cedar. Look on the side there now, Haley. You have cedar exposed on the edge here, not poplar, for finishing purposes. Run into this stuff on site, you got to be able to improvise, and that's what we're doing. Lechik and I will be here till the cows go home. Well, can you pull it off the end now? If I lean the door forward a bit, can you pull it off the end?
Yep.
Okay. Are we okay to lean the door on that gently?
Very gently. You're still
Okay.
going to put casing over top of that, so
Yes.
it's not a visible face.
Okay.
I have now 4 screws of them. Okay. I'm holding the jump.
Okay.
There we go.
I can set the jump.
So we want to pivot this end of the door over here, Jack. Okay. Set her down.
Yep.
There.
Okay.
Okay.
He lost like 3 hours.
Holy, just for those edges, right?
Yeah.
You look at the edges.
You
You
lost
say,
so
well,
much.
look, now what can we do now?
He lost so much time.
Yeah. Oh.
Jack, what time it is?
There we go. We can't leave the opening. Okay, let's I'm going first.
Okay. If we can get the jam fully screwed in place perfect, then we can just hang the door and we can do all the finicky stuff tomorrow.
See, I was hoping like at least we get the handle today, but didn't come, so we cannot use the...
Yeah, we can't actually do any of that, right? We just gotta, can we even screw a block? No, there's tile.
But we can close the door and
Yeah, but that's it. We can't screw a block into the ground even.
A little bit of the log out. It might be easier just to chisel the log
The
out,
log.
right?
I think
Now,
we should still
is
cut
that-
this one though.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
Jeff.
we still have to cut that
I'd
that
say
straight
that's a
edge
full
over.
quarter-inch, right?
Probably, because we need a
Yeah,
little bit of
full
play.
quarter. Okay,
Yeah.
let's bring it out. Set it right up here again, guys. Set it right up here. Okay. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, on the inside there.
Yeah, like that's fine.
see.
I'm on the inside here. I'm good.
Yeah. Just do a cut like that.
So it was very critical that this door got in place by the end of the first day and was able to be locked. So it was a bit of a stressful day for us, I won't lie, because we were all kind of working towards this time crunch here. So it was, yeah, not the most calm first day, but you'll see what happened.
Oh, that's beautiful height on the inside, you guys.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's right
look-
where we want it.
Yeah. So we shim it. Start on the inside, right, Let's
That the way.
Okay. Let me. I got shims in here.
Okay.
You probably go a little closer. 4 inches, Jack. Push low.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good.
Let's try that.
Just think of those pins going in there. You just want to leave it out then, Letchik?
Yeah, it's like we can leave it. We can put the
Okay, we're ready for you to put your hinges in there.
Yeah, it's a little bit tight.
So now the gap is wider at the bottom than it is at the top right now. We should put one thicker shim
Yes,
in there.
yes.
You know, it's a little close to the door down there. And if you leave it, the guy's going to call you back in like 2 months or something.
Yeah,
and say,
he's
oh, the
gonna
bottom
just-
of my door is rubbing.
If anything, you want it to be slightly higher than it needs
Yeah.
to be, so it can drop into
Yeah.
level.
Yeah, it's always going to sag down. We can move that just by prying that.
Okay.
Right? Did you see that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
the gap changes by
Yeah.
half a mil at least.
Beautiful. Okay, we'll
Okay.
do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just dropping it off for you guys.
Okay, so we're here on site in hour 12 now that we've been here at the client's home. The furniture's done. We're not having the easiest time with the door though. We've been struggling to get everything to sit flat and true. Well, Lechik and Brad, if we're being honest, they're doing most of the work here. And our issue is now, the only door that we're able to lock to seal up the house is this door. And we just got the handle now, like half an hour ago, and they didn't actually drop off the full mechanism for the handle. We only have the lock set, which means because this is multi-point hardware, there's 1, 2, 3 locks on there. We have to now create a jig, route out all of the grooves for the multi-point hardware to fit into, and it is 7:54, and we probably got a few more hours of work left there, so we could be here till midnight working on this.
We will be not able to close.
Right.
So let me mark it, then I'm going to mark it, and then I'm going to think about it, then I have to route that out there. And then it's like we lock it, and if it's good, then we lock it. And then it's going to be like 11.
Do it.
Huge.
So we were feeling a little defeated by the door at the beginning of the second day, so we opted to start with some things that we thought might be easier, being the mantle. So we got that lifted up. It's not nearly as heavy, and if everything goes to plan, the install should not be nearly as challenging either.
Go up.
Okay.
Up over that.
Up over the
banister.
railing. Yeah.
Looks
Right.
light.
Right there.
Never take on too much work. And then have one of your guys break his neck.
How did that even happen?
Snowboarding on the hill. Foxy doesn't come through. And then when we push it, we'll just take the tape right off. Yeah. Up, left, right. Decline.
Okay.
Nice. That's, yeah, we can just watch your foot in that level. Alright, you good?
I'm good.
Clean up.
Oh. I'm gonna go grab a bigger level.
This needs to come down just a bit.
All right, and here we are in the main living room of the home where we've installed the solid Bubinga mantle. It is solid, but I guess technically it's hollow on the inside, but we've used solid material. So what we've done is we've got sliding dovetail joinery kind of to create this box, and then behind this there's a piece of poplar that we've slid the whole mantle over, and that's what's actually allowing this all to stay in place here right now. So we're not able to quite finish this off while we're on site, so as soon as we leave, these guys are going to pull this off, put a little bit more PL behind it, and then stick the whole thing on. And it's just super, super cool and matches the door perfectly too.
You had one job. Oh! To do the door.
Hear that, Leszek? We're getting dissed bad here. Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, we'll be ready to help you guys pretty quick here.
Well, it's in there, right?
Yeah, well the main part's done. Now it's just...
So now it's the moldings.
Yeah.
So I got to set a ladder up here.
Butts up to the underside there, and these got to go tight at the end here.
So I'll get this cut to length. Well, I got to taper it too.
Yeah.
Okay, so this corner. See this corner of goop up here?
Yeah.
Square that out, nice up there. Like chisel that out. The other one looks better.
Yeah, the other one's nice and square.
Yeah, look at that.
Sure. Okay. I'll do the corner first, and then I'll go back to the poplar.
Yeah, I'm gonna take about 5 mil off of this guy. From there to there. Okay.
Well, Brad, how's today going versus yesterday so far?
Today we're actually closer to the finish line than we were yesterday. That's all I can say. We can see it. We're not there yet, but we're closer than we were yesterday. A lot of the stuff, the bed assembly, I guess has gone absolutely amazing, and I haven't seen it yet. I saw part of it, but haven't seen it completely finished.
That's because we did it.
Yeah, and the fireplace mantle has gone really well, and that's Dylan did all that too. So me and Leszek are the big hold up here today, because we just had to hang the simple, stupid little door, and we haven't been able to figure it out so far, but it's coming along.
Haven't you been doing doors for like 30 years? Why don't you know how to do one yet?
I don't know. I don't pay attention. I don't pay attention when I do a door, so it's like the first time every time.
So this door hardware kind of had a mechanical and a digital function to it. We could get it to mechanically operate fine just by like manually spinning the bolt, but when the client would try to use the feature where he could open the door digitally with his phone or with a remote, it wasn't allowing the lock set to fully turn. So you could see there we were trying to chisel some bits of wood out from the inside where that cylinder goes in, and we're just basically taking that handle off through trial and error and trying to figure out whatever we can to get it working smoothly.
Curtis, I know. Curtis made me tell you to use that one, so
Hey.
I have to send him a picture of it.
Yeah. No, let's do it. Make sure it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need one with the groove, right? First?
Yeah. The wide one.
Yeah, that's this one here.
Oh yeah, the first one up there. We're only gonna need, that's like 36. What did we say that one was?
Yeah, how's it going to help?
Yeah, it is in the hole. It's just not tight. Yeah, we still got to put 2 more screws in our jam.
No, I did that.
You did that already?
I did that.
Oh
yeah.
shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So then we're just.
Yeah,
Leszek's got hardware to go.
Getting down. I got to come inside. We're going to be foaming the inside here. I guess.
Want me to hold her in there?
Oh, I'm just looking at it. Looks pretty darn good to me. That's how it's going to nail in. So I'll start at the bottom here.
Yep.
Looks pretty good, guys.
So what Brad is doing here now is putting a layer of spray foam insulation between the jam and the home. This is obviously just to seal everything off and give us that thermal barrier that we need. It was being kind of a pain in the butt though, because it's so cold, the spray foam doesn't like to actually expand like it's supposed to, but we have Master Brad and he figured it all out. Because of the style of home that this is, being a log home, it also required us to do kind of a unique style of trim. So first off, to get the jam in place, we had to route out the logs to install some bucks that went around the whole perimeter of the jam, and then we have to do sort of two-step trim to properly hide all of our installation. So the first set of trim goes over the door jam and butts up to the buck and becomes flush with the two surfaces, and then our second layer of trim that you're seeing Brad put on right now goes over the buck and over that first piece of trim to completely hide everything. And now here's some more work that Lechik is doing that the locksmith was supposed to do who never showed up for us. Again, there's just more of these like metal tongues essentially that come off the multi-point hardware that need this latch to grab onto. So we didn't have any of the jigs that the locksmith would have presumably had, so Lechik is just drilling everything out manually with a Forstner bit and then chiseling everything straight afterwards. So very tedious, labor-intensive work, but Lechik's the master. And our final step now is just to finish up some of these final details. So similar to our mantle where we hit our screw holes with plugs, we're doing the same thing on our door jamb, because we do screw our door jamb into place, and that obviously leaves a lot of big ugly screw holes. So we have solid Bubinga plugs that we chisel to the right length and then just pound into place with a little bit of silicone.
Door's closed. Okay.
You did it.
Looks like so we got the screws attached to it there. We just got to pop the two outsides in the middle off.
Okay.
And then just drive them through. It's already countersunk, and then we just pop these back on.
And that covers the
And
hole.
it's fully hidden and it's hung up.
Inside or outside? The outside one?
We almost got it off with a brake light, but we couldn't get it to lag, right? So, there we go.
Tools for the stuff I did.
Okay.
That needed specifically, I put all in a bag.
Okay, any of this power, yeah, this power.
Alright, we can get like photos of that because we're done.
All right, so we are all finished up. Well, I should say mostly Brad and Lechik are finished up. They did nearly all of the work on this unit, and it turned out absolutely phenomenally. It looks gorgeous. We've got figured Bubinga all the way around on the casing that you can see as well. And of course, then we've got the flat slab on the front that's all figured Bubinga. We've got our Rocky Mountain hardware, and then coming in, Jack.
Go for it.
Okay, and then on the inside here, you can take a look too. Actually, I'll show you some of the fancy hardware. It's got these magnetic springs, so the door can be opened electronically. So as soon as the client wants, he unlocks the door, those springs push it open part of the way, and there's also a whole locking mechanism built into the edge of the door. So this can be electronically controlled. There's our Bubinga door. Here's a look on the inside. Everything turned out awesome. Our team absolutely killed it on this piece. Okay, well everyone, we are cleaning up. We've got our little pile of tools there left behind us that we've got to put in the truck, but that is a day. It's only 4:53, so we finished quite a bit earlier than yesterday. And yeah, our clients are awesome. This was such a fun job. Beautiful area. We're in the mountains, so huge thank you to them, and thank you to you guys for sticking around and watching this video.